Hello everyone, how's it going? Welcome back to a brand new Wild Rift video. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at gameplay of one of my Xayah games that I played yesterday with Ninshiki, and we also had Juicy as well from Na'Vi in the top lane. This game was a little bit of a fiesta, but I'll try and break it down as much as I can in terms of what plays I make, what mistakes I make, how to improve your games. Obviously, I have the build up on screen now for you. In this game though, just to let you know that the build was slightly changed because you kind of have to adapt, as I always say in Wild Rift. I know that on the enemy team you're going to be having Lee Sin that might build a little bit of armor. You're going against Garen, which is going to be a full tank Garen. And also the Alistar as well, which is going to build a lot of armor and a lot of tanky stats. So you'll see in this game that I adjust my build, but obviously I'll go into that later on. If you do enjoy this type of educational content, then be sure to subscribe to the channel and like and comment as always. I appreciate all your support. And as I said, I'll be bringing out more educational content like this one on more champions. Obviously, I did Xayah before. Now we're going to be taking a look at Xayah. And yeah, let's head straight into it. I realized from the last video that audio probably wasn't the best option to have. This is obviously from my stream, so normally you'll hear my audio twice like the last video, but I thought let's just keep it normal. Let's just keep it with just my voice. You won't hear any of the game sound, unfortunately, but I think this is the best way to go. So we're Xayah Nami against Alistar Xayah. Now, Alistar Xayah is a really strong combo. Obviously, with Alistar's combo, his second and his first ability, you can get a lot of crowd control down to get a lot of stacks for Xayah. So Nami has to be a little bit careful, but before that, if we can play around the Alistar combo and make sure we don't get hit at all, then Nami Xayah is actually a pretty decent lane against Alistar, because Alistar only really has a combo. Nami can walk up, use her second ability to heal herself, and also to poke down the Alistar. And obviously, I have a lot of priority against Xayah as well, as long as I don't do anything stupid, basically. Xayah has a lot of priority in pretty much any single lane. You can have a lot of pushing power with your abilities. It's really nice. Obviously, Nami walking up here, getting a nice W off. The great thing about Nami is that if you hit your W on an ally, then it bounces obviously to the enemy, or if you hit it on an enemy, it also bounces back to you. So you can pretty much get a very good trade-off, obviously, all the time. As you can see here, not really too much happening. Obviously, as I said, we have priority. Nami walking up a little bit too far for my liking. Kind of wanted to sit back and farm, but as you can see, we have the pushing power, we have the priority. Because Xayah can't really do much early on because of her short range against Xayah. And obviously, I see Ninshiki coming for the Scuttle Crab here. So I'm just trying to make sure that we have priority in this lane. This is really important when you see that the jungler is on your side of the map, because you know that the jungler is now going to go for the Scuttle Crab. I'll pause right here for you to show you. So you see Ninshiki here is on the Scuttle Crab. Obviously, mid lane is kind of even at the moment, and we have priority top lane. So Ninshiki knows that obviously we have priority top lane. They have kind of priority mid lane. I think Galio's moving over to the Scuttle Crab now. So he should be in a pretty decent spot to be able to take the Scuttle Crab for free. Obviously clears the ward as well. We also see the Lee Sin here as well. So we know that the Lee Sin can't really do much now because we had the priority. Katarina jumps in. I use my first ability and then auto attack for my third ability to get a nice easy stun off. And then we get a nice combination here on the Alistar. I think he eventually dies. It was a bit risky, but I think we were able to kill off the Alistar. We was. And then we was able to get a really good Nami bubble as well, and pretty much take Xayah really low on HP, but unfortunately there we won't be able to take the kill. But the main point was going back to get priority on the... if I go back a lot, I'm sorry chap, I want to try and explain everything. The whole reason this whole thing happened was because we got priority. As I said, when you're playing Xayah, you always want to try and... Well, you don't always want to try and push in early, but you always want to try and get priority if the junglers come in. If the jungler's starting down here at red buff, or on the opposite side of the map, you know that the jungler is then going to go up to the top side of the map and then go for the Scuttle Crab. So you know that you should be getting priority in your lane, so you're the first one to move. So I know now that I have priority. So I'm moving down here. Obviously, we see the Lee Sin, but Lee Sin can't do anything. His bot lane is under tower, getting farm. His mid lane, I think, is trying to 1v1 Galio, or is maybe roaming, but obviously Katarina loses a lot of CS as well. So Xayah's under tower at the moment. Galio's pushing down mid lane, but Katarina's here, which is completely fine. It's not really a problem. Galio's pushing the lane, so Katarina misses farm. Obviously, I zone off the Lee Sin here, which is really, really good. He tried to cue the Scuttle Crab. Katarina probably went a little bit too deep, not knowing that his team was kind of topside and a little bit safe. But the main thing I do here, which I want you all to know, is that when you have someone close to you, or when you know you can land a stun, this is the perfect way you can land an easy route. So you use your Q, and then you have 2 feathers. After you use your Q, you auto attack once, then you have 3 feathers, and then you use your third ability to stun them. And you can see the route happens straight away. Unfortunately, the Nami doesn't actually realize that I'm going to land my route here. So she kind of predicts the movement of the Katarina to kind of bubble her there. If the Nami realized that I would have landed a stun here, the Nami would have bubbled here to get a nice like CC combo. Probably would have killed the Katarina, but unfortunately we didn't. Obviously, Alistar went in to try and headbutt. But now we have Galio. So look at this huge, massive wave mid lane now. Galio was able to push out mid wave. Katarina's losing all this CS mid lane. We was able to get priority top lane as well. So we were able to push down the tower and obviously move to the Scuttle Crab first. And Galio obviously comes in, lands a really, really good flash taunt on the Alistar. Unfortunately, wasn't able to get the Alistar, but eventually we were able to, I think the Shiki jumps in here and gets the Alistar to kill. Obviously a nice bubble, but unfortunately I couldn't land the stun because Xayah flashed away. But overall, really, really good trade. Look at all this mid lane CS that the Katarina's losing. It's absolutely incredible. As you can see here, I went pretty crazy here. I'm going to let this clip play out. I went kind of crazy, but I'll explain to you what happened in this whole situation as it all runs through. So we push down the lane. We know that Xayah is really low, and so is Lee Sin. We see the Lee Sin here. I flash the Alistar combo, and I get the feathers onto the Lee Sin, and we kill them both. So I don't really like to brag myself, but that was a pretty decent play, to be fair. I mean, in the words of pretty much me, I did say absolutely shit on them, basically. So, and then we were able to get the Alistar there as well. And I think at this point, they kind of didn't really do that great, to be fair. They kind of ran it down. But looking at a playback, so I realized that we had all this CS under tower. If I quickly go back here. So I realized that Xayah's low on HP. So my plan here was to push out the lane and then go back to base. Kind of. But I realized that Xayah was so low on HP. Obviously, Alistar was dead, so he was coming from base, so he might not have been there on time. It might have been a bit close. So I pushed out the lane here, and I think, okay, maybe I could kill Xayah. I got my first ability coming up soon. My third ability is coming up really soon as well. I can maybe kill Xayah. So I used the target lock to make sure I target onto the Xayah. I realized that Lee Sin is now here as well. I'll be totally honest with you. I did not mean to flash the Alistar combo, but it kind of all worked out in the end. So I was able to... I used my barrier because I knew I was going to take aggro. I was able to flash the Alistar combo. I think I used my first ability. Well, Lee Sin actually cancels this back. I used my first ability to get the feathers onto Lee Sin. So even though he dashes away... I don't think... Oh, no, he actually doesn't dash away. He tries to obviously escape. But my feathers were there, and then I was able to use my third ability to kill off the Xayah and then kill off the Lee Sin in the end as well. So just utilizing your feathers, which is one of the main things that I've always said. And obviously Xayah's missing this whole wave, like a wave and a half pretty much. And they were able to... I'm not too sure why Alistar was walking here. Maybe he didn't have vision. But yeah, Alistar walks up. Unfortunately dies as well. Katarina gets a trade kill onto Nami, but then is able to escape because Katarina can just dash a bajillion times. Yeah, it's always about just utilizing your feathers, making sure that you know what you could do with your feathers, and then Shiki gets a nice kill on bot lane as well. And just knowing your damage output as well, which is another main thing as well. Obviously, we go back here, we get the BF sword, we get the crit cloak as well. So we're in a pretty good spot now. We're probably quite a far way ahead from Xayah. And yeah, obviously Drake coming up in about 55 seconds. So we know that we're ahead now. We're able to get a really, really good play early on. Obviously, getting priority in lane against Xayah is super, super important because you can rotate to the jungle Scuttle Crabs, which is really, really nice. And now we're just going to be pushing out the wave, making sure that we can get... I think I actually clear one more wave here, and then I go back. Or I might go back now, actually, yeah. I go back now because I realized that by the time I go back, I have 900 gold to get Infinity Edge, which is really strong power spike. I don't have any boots. But getting the Infinity Edge before the first dragon is a really, really huge power spike. And you'll see here that we'll walk towards the Drake and we'll try and finish this off. But I don't think we want to start the Drake here because they do still have a pretty good combo. They have the Alistar, they have the Kaisar. We're kind of just chilling in lane at the moment. Obviously, Garen dies. Oh, not Garen, sorry. Gragas dies to the Garen in bot lane. So we're not doing anything crazy. You know, we don't need to force Dragon at all. We're ahead. We know we're ahead. So we're just farming out and everything at the moment. Obviously, Scuttle Crab's coming up soon as well. I'm able to ward the Tri-Brush. And now we're able to start Dragon. So we can see that the Gragas is now coming. The Galio is in position. And we're able to start Dragon. I'm not too sure if I remember how this Dragon fight went. I think Nami got a good wave and was able to take the... we were able to take the Dragon there. I'm not really too sure what Lee Sin was doing. Lee Sin was trying to steal and then accidentally tried to dash back out and couldn't really do anything. But it's really good play. Like, we pushed out the lanes first. We were able to push out the mid wave, push out the top wave, and then rotate to Dragon afterwards because we know that Gragas was dead. So by the time that Gragas came up, he was able to walk to the Dragon straight away because we didn't start it straight away on spawn. Obviously, it's really, really nice to duo or trio with a jungler because you're able to communicate this. Like, me and Nishiki were communicating pretty much the whole game about dragons, about, you know, lane priorities, scuttle crabs, all these important things that junglers need to know. Obviously, jungle, I would say, is the most impactful role in Wild Rift. You're able to make a lot of plays. Obviously, the ganking, scuttle crab engages, the dragons, the heralds, the barons, everything else as well. So it's really, really, really important to get a jungle trio slash duo that you know you can trust. Obviously, Nishiki is a pog jungler indeed. But we got the boots upgrade now, so we're able to get the I forgot what they're called now. The boots that give you physical vamp and magical vamp. Gluttonous Greaves, that's the one. I was trying to think what the name was there. But we already have, I believe it's 3 stacks of our Hunter Vampirism and also Hunter Titan. So we're getting that extra health, we're getting the extra healing and the extra AD as well. So again, we're in a really, really strong spot. Obviously, yesterday my my chat was having a little bit of fun with Bitch yesterday. Shout out to everyone that comes into my Twitch stream, twitch.tv/itchstuart. If you want to come on by and have a watch, I stream pretty much every single day. I haven't been streaming that much recently because I've been a little bit ill, but I feel a little bit better today, so I'll probably be streaming again today later on. But we know here that we're a lot stronger now than the Alistar and the Kaisar. We try and get the tower here as well. I think Alistar tries to go in for a combo. We see the Lee Sin. I think I get a little bit caught out here, which is a little bit unlucky. I should have really waited for the Lee Sin kick. Oh, actually, no, we kind of turned this around. I was able to get the Lee Sin, but I think I die in the end here, unfortunately. I can't remember. Yeah, she had barrier, and I didn't activate my W. It was really, really close that we didn't kill the Kai'Sa there. Really, really close. But they had 4 people top lane. So whilst this is all happening, Nishiki was taking Herald bot lane. He's now using his Herald mid lane as well. So looking at that play back, me and Nami probably played a little bit too aggressive, but we were trying to get the tower. I'll come back on that note of why I'm going Mortal Reminder second soon. But we know that Kai'Sa's back in base. We tried to go for the tower and try and get as much damage down the tower. Obviously, we know that Ninshiki and Galio are doing Herald, so maybe Lee Sin's bot lane. But Lee Sin was able to go top. Lee Sin came top lane here to try and defend a tower. Alistar jumps in on the Nami instead of me, which is quite an interesting one. Now, Lee Sin obviously goes on to me, so I don't know why Lee Sin doesn't kick me. I think it's because I was able to ulti in time. Obviously, I flash in a little bit too aggressive here to go on to Lee Sin. I don't think I needed to flash in here. I could probably just flash away and just take the trade of the Alistar and the Lee Sin flash. But I took 2 tower shots here, which was kind of bad. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to stack up as many feathers as I can before I activate my E there. Now, I think here, if I'm not really too sure. If I activate my second ability here and if I get a quick auto attack off with the extra attack speed that I get from my W, and then Q afterwards, I probably kill the Kai'Sa here. But unfortunately, I don't because she had barrier. You see here, I activate my W here, and I just don't have enough time to auto attack. I think I auto attack once, yeah. I auto attack once, and I'm not able to get it. But if I activate my W first and then my Q, I might be able to kill her because of the extra attack speed that you get from W. But unfortunately, we are not able to. But going back to the build, obviously adapted the build, as I said. I know that I'm against the Garen and Alistar, very, very tanky comp, so I'm not actually going Rapid Fire Cannon second item this game. I'm going for the, I'm going for the Mortal Reminder second. This allows me to get, obviously, the healing reduction. It allows me to get the armor penetration as well, because obviously their team is going to be building a lot of armor. I think I kind of made a misplay here, rotating up to top lane. I knew that they were already going to get top lane tower, so I probably should have gone bot lane to try and defend this tower against Garen. But yeah, kind of a misplay, because I didn't really need to go top, and obviously we lose bot lane tower. So, kind of a little misplay. If this was me, I probably would have gone bot lane here instead, because they already had priority top lane. They're already able to get the top lane tower. It's a little bit of a misplay from me. A little bit of a tip, if you know that someone's, you know, in your lane instead. Like me, I know that Galio's top lane now, so now we're mid lane instead, so we're covering mid lane, and then Gragas is bot lane. I could have gone bot lane there to defend the tower, but fortunately I misplayed a little. So now we have the Lost Whisper. We now have the Executioner's Calling as well, as you can see here. So I go for the Mortal Reminder second. Alistar already building armor. Garen doesn't actually have any armor yet, but still has the plated steel caps. Lee Sin probably going for GA second item, maybe Triforce, not really too sure. But it's mainly for the Alistar and the Garen getting through these, because both of these champions have really high base armor stats. And obviously they build a lot of tank as well. If Garen went full tank here, then it would have been a lot more useful for me, but it's still very, very useful to go Mortal Reminder second item. Obviously, I still have the attack speed from the second ability, so it's not that bad. So now we're trying to get control of the Dragon Pit here. Nishiki gets a really, really good engage. Obviously, the Nami wave into the Galio taunt and everything else as well, which is really, really nice. We're able to stay back. We're able to auto-attack and pretty much just kill off everyone. I didn't do that much damage in that fight, to be fair, because Ninshiki and the Gragas actually went really, really far forward for me. But the good thing was there that I was able to dodge the Garen ulti with my ulti. I'm pretty sure I dodge it anyway. Not really too sure if I dodge it actually, or if the Garen actually like presses the ultimate. I'm not really too sure. But we'll see here. The Gragas obviously goes in. Lee Sin jumps in for some strange reason. Lee Sin did some questionable plays this game. Not really too sure. But Nishiki is able to get a really, really good ultimate off on pretty much everyone. The Nami wave as well goes on to everyone. And my main thing here is just kill the front line. Make sure I kill the front line. I think I dodged the ultimate here with my ulti. I'm not really too sure. I think I'm able to ultimate in time, because obviously the Lee Sin kick does a lot of damage to me. So I know that Garen obviously has his ultimate, so I need to ulti as soon as possible to use my feathers to stun the Gragas. So I use my ultimate, and as soon as I use my ultimate, Garen uses his ultimate as well. So I think he was trying to target me, but obviously I went untargetable, so I was able to dodge out the Garen ultimate, which is really nice. Garen maybe could have killed me there if I didn't dodge the ultimate, because Garen ultimate does a lot of execution damage. A lot, but that was the main thing in this game, really, was that if I'm able to just stay back and just auto attack a lot, they don't really have a lot of things that they can get onto me, except for maybe the Alistar combo or the Garen running towards me. But as long as I could deal enough damage to them, obviously with the Mortal Reminder second item, really, really nice. So we're able to win the fight, we're able to get the dragon, and at this point of the game, we are pretty far ahead. Obviously, I can go back and get my Mortal Reminder now as well. I think for the third item, I go for the Rapid Fire Cannon. Yeah, we're dealing a lot of damage. We're doing really, really well in this game. And this game really shows that Xayah is just a really, really safe champion to play if you understand how her feathers work. I was actually scrimming against a guy called Grizzly yesterday as well, who was playing Xayah against us. And he was another person that I knew straight away. It was like, this guy knows how to play Xayah. Like, if you understand how she works in terms of in terms of feathers, in terms of landing the roots, when to use ultimate. Obviously, most of the time you want to save your ultimate to use it defensively, because if you use it aggressively, it's kind of a bit annoying in a way. We're able to get the stun off here onto Alistar. I mean, we know at this point that we are super, super strong. I was actually thinking of ulti and flashing here onto the Kai'Sa. We wasn't able to get her. I unfortunately missed my QE combo there, which was really, really unlucky. I kind of misplayed a little bit there. I'll go back and explain to you why I misplayed. I used my ultimate here. So my plan was here when I used my ultimate, I was going to ulti flash onto Kai'Sa and then use my E. But I realized I didn't have my E up, so I kind of used my ultimate a bit too early. I didn't really need to use my ultimate at all. I just kind of did it for the extra damage, which is a little bit unfortunate. Obviously, Alistar was able to flash away. I flashed after him. Again, I didn't really probably need to flash after him. But the kind of a misplay is here. So I don't know. Maybe it was a good play by Alistar because he walked like this way. He was able to walk around my feathers. But my plan was just to use my Q and then use my E afterwards and able to do enough damage. But, oh, I kind of moved it right at the end, didn't I? It's kind of a misplay from me. I think I kind of like misplaced it a little. Yeah. So you see, this is where I activate my Q. So if my Q goes a little bit closer to the wall, I kill Alistar here, 100%. But I kind of misplayed, and it kind of went a little bit to the top side of Alistar. And obviously it going to the top side, meaning it actually missed when the feathers came back as well. A little bit of a misplay there, but Galio was obviously able to get the kill off there as well. But just some little things sometimes that I'm kind of not used to. Obviously on mobile games, if it was PC, it probably would have been a little bit easier because I was able to, I'm able to like aim it and be a bit more precise. But then, like on mobile, I'm still not used to like, you know, the aiming or anything like that. I probably could have killed Katarina here, to be fair, but I didn't go too aggressive. You can see how much damage I'm doing now with the feathers. It's absolutely crazy with the Mortal Reminder and the Infinity Edge, because obviously I have more AD, so my feathers are going to do a lot more damage. But yeah, not really much else to say. I think we just close out this game now, to be fair. We had a few little misplays and a few little things to obviously take note of, Xayah. Obviously, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know. I think we just go towards Baron here. I think that's the main thing that we do now. So obviously I'm going for the rapid fire cannon as the third item. I should have really brought maybe the Zhonya's hourglass instead. Naomi actually does really well there. Galio kills off the Kai'Sa. I think Gragas kills the Katarina here. And yeah, we're doing pretty well. We see Lee Sin top lane. I'm not really too sure what the Lee Sin was doing. I think Lee Sin was a little bit tilted from the early game, maybe from my tower dive and everything. But as you can see, the main thing I'm doing with Xayah all the time is I'm using my spell and then I'm auto-attacking a few times. I think one of the main things that people do on Xayah, well, someone does wrong on Xayah, is that they use their spells pretty much all the time. They don't wait for your auto-attacks to go off. Obviously, I do really, really well to stun the Galio here. Unfortunately, not able to kill him. He's super, super tanky, even with my Mortal Reminder as well. He's able to just tank everything. Shows how strong Alistar still is at the moment. But the main thing you want to know with Xayah is that obviously when you use your abilities, you get 3 feathers. So you need to make sure every single time you use an ability, you want to auto-attack at least once. Obviously, sometimes you're not able to. Sometimes you just have to, you know, ulti, then use E straight away to stun them. But most of the time, you want to try and use your ultimate and then, use your abilities and then at least auto-attack once. We got kind of a little bit aggressive here, to be fair. Sorry about the follow alert. You can't really see that much. I'm trying to get like a stun off here or something. I think I actually die here, unfortunately, because I went a little bit too aggressive for my liking. I should have really gone this aggressive. Yeah, I don't actually know what killed me, like, live. I think it was the Garen ulti. I didn't actually realize that Garen ultied me here, and Garen was able to, like, sneak past everyone and just get onto me with ulti. Obviously, I still had flash. I still had barrier. I could have barriered. I could have flashed, but honestly, I didn't know that I was going to lose that much HP that fast. Garen is kind of like a sleeper champion at the moment. He's actually coming up and becoming quite a bit of a powerhouse in terms of pro play, solo queue as well. He's just super, super tanky. He's just one of them champions that just super annoying. You just run around and you just can't do anything against him, basically. Yeah, kind of a misplay. Kind of a little bit of a misplay, but we kind of got a little bit greedy. We probably could have just taken the 2 inhibitors, gone back onto the dragon, you know, normal play. But as we do, sometimes we overextend a little, kind of limit a test when we know that we're quite far ahead. But obviously, I wouldn't recommend doing that because, you know, it is a game that's all about snowballing. Obviously, because it's a Wild Rift is a fast-paced game. The timers of the death timers, sorry, are a lot shorter than the death timers are longer the shorter the game goes. So even though it's like 20 minutes into the game or 50 minutes into the game, the death timers get very, very long because of the because of how quick they want this game to go. Gragas unfortunately tries to go in here, doesn't actually get anything off. Galio does really well to protect me here, able to protect me from the Garen. Obviously, then I ultimate the Garen ultimate there again, able to basically deny him and kill him off as well with the feathers. Again, a really good way that Xayah is just a super, super safe champion and really, really fun to play. I'll quickly go back because this is the last play. I'll quickly run down what happened here. So Gragas tried to go in here. Unfortunately, his ultimate kind of knocked everyone away. But Garen tried to go in onto me here. Actually does a lot of damage. Obviously, when Garen uses his first ability on someone, I get silenced. That's why it's a little speech bubble there. But for me, I'm just trying to stack up as many feathers as I can. I think Garen has to flash away here. I'm able to get the feathers onto the Lee Sin. But the main thing I do here is I save my ultimate. Now, if this was like someone else might have used their ultimate kind of aggressively to get more feathers. But the main thing I want you guys all to know is that you need to save your ultimate for anything defensively. Lee Sin kit, Katarina ulti, Garen ulti, which obviously what I do here. I save my ultimate for when the Garen jumps in, and as soon as Garen jumps in on me, I use my ultimate. So Garen ulti actually did no damage at all to me. And then I was able to flash in here. And the main thing I do again here is I use my Q, I use my first ability, I auto attack once, and then I'm able to get the root off, which allows me to get a quick and easy kill. Situations like that, like sometimes you won't be able to utilize your feathers because you're trying to land a quick stun. So you just Q, auto E, and then you you use W to try and get the attack speed. So like situations like that, you can't really utilize your feathers a lot because you're chasing someone down. Most of the time, you want to use an ability, auto attack at least once, and then use an ability again. But we close out the game here. Pretty clean game. 15-minute game overall. But hopefully you guys learned a thing or two off of this. Like I said, remember to like, comment, and subscribe as always. I'll be streaming later on tonight, so make sure you tune in to that. And as always, stay safe, and I'll see you all very soon. Peace.